All right, we're live.
Oh,
1 second. So running a little slow on my side. All right.
okay.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Spotlight. My name's Corey Gums. I'm the host, and today we have Leah B from In the Mix podcast. Um, before we get started with Leah, I'm just gonna do a quick rundown of what the Spotlight is. The Spotlight is basically a way for us to try to bring a spotlight or highlight you guys and introduce uh, members of the group to members of the group as well as the rest of the world and let them know who you are, what you're about, and give us a little backstory to your podcasting journey. We figured this would be a good way to help, again, to bring a spotlight to you and help promote and just let people know what you're doing, what you're about, and hopefully collaborate, follow, listen, and do everything that that you're looking for your podcast. So tonight we have for our inaugural show, we have Leah B from in the Mix podcast, and we're just gonna run down some quick questions. Probably be about 5 to 10 minutes for this interview. So I guess we'll start with Leah. Just give us some background of where you're from, who you are, how you got started in podcasting.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Leah B, and I am from Michigan, Detroit. For people who don't know, I live in Metro Detroit. I started podcasting about a year ago. Uh, so the reason why I wanted to go into podcasting is because I always wanted to do something in like entertainment, like music industry and stuff like that. I always loved anything entertainment wise. So in college, um, I got my degree in communications, but it wasn't like it was broadcasting communications and whatnot. And so once I graduated, I wanted to go into radio. At the time, um, when I graduated, I couldn't find a job in radio, so I was just, working odd jobs here and there and whatnot. But about maybe 5 years ago, somebody told me about podcasting. And at the time, I was like, not really feeling it, and whatnot. So, because I didn't know how to start it or get into it and whatnot. So, maybe 2 years ago, that's when I kind of took it seriously. It was probably right after um, what really drove me was the passing of my brother. He passed away like 2 years ago.
Okay.
And yeah, he kind of, he was like the motivation behind it all. So
Okay.
started a year ago. I didn't know what I wanted to do as far as like my show. So I was like, I like music. I love music, I should say. And I like history. And I always was a fan of like learning new things. I was intrigued about like learning facts about celebrities and whatnot. It always intrigued me. So I was like, I like music, I like history. And I was like, you know what? Let's put those things together. And I came up with In the Mix. And with this podcast, it's a music history podcast. And I just talk about um, like artist careers, like the artists that you haven't heard in a long time. I talk about where are they now and what they're up to, what they did in the past and stuff like that. So basically, you learning is a history lesson on your favorite R&B, hip hop, gospel, maybe jazz, a little bit. It's a little mix. So that's why I called it In the Mix. So it's a little mixer.
Okay. So it explains itself. That's
Yes.
great.
Yep.
Um, so what would you say about how many episodes have you completed so far, or where you at in the progress of your podcast
I
since you started?
have like 16 right now.
Okay. So
Yep.
16 different artists that
Yep.
you focused on?
hmm
Okay.
So no, when in the beginning, it was like I broke it down in a series. So in the very beginning, the very first episode was about the history of hip hop. So I talked about the history of hip hop, where it started, the origins and whatnot. And the second, basically, it was like a series of all things hip hop. So the I think the second episode was about, it's been a year, so let me think. It was about like, I think fashion. No,
Okay.
yeah, about how fashion affected hip hop and where it, where it landed and all that stuff. And then maybe it was still up until like the end of the year. I was talking about hip hop and stuff like that. But up to this year is when I created like the R&B series, where I talked about where are they now, artists and stuff like that. So
Okay.
yeah.
So was it like a just like a was it like a natural progression, or was just you just saw what worked for you, what didn't work for you to get from like from the beginning part to where you're at now with your podcast?
It was like, I guess it was a natural progression. Like I
Mhm.
kind of knew what I was, like I had an idea what I wanted to do. It's like I kind of had an outline of what the next upcoming episodes and were coming and whatnot. I kind of just, how I get my inspiration is just randomly, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. So I could be
So
watching. Go ahead.
no, you could be watching what?
I could I could be watching like a TV show or something. Like I was like early, maybe a few weeks, like a week ago. I was in the car driving somewhere. I think no, it was last week. I was in the car driving, and I have XM satellite radio.
Mhm.
So I was listening to Heart and Soul or whatever, and the guy was talking about Kim. I don't know if you know who Kim is. He's an R&B singer. He's
Yeah.
popular here. He's from here, actually, from Detroit.
Okay.
And I guess the guy was talking about, he had his own radio show, and he was gonna do one of the upcoming episodes. I'm gonna do I think maybe next week, about the history of like Soul Train or something like that. So
So
yeah.
how do you get the historical stuff? Is it like like a yeah, various sources, or is it like a process that
Yeah,
you came up
it's various sources. I just be online Googling. Like it's pretty much Google, like, oh
Okay.
yeah, like articles or something like that,
Okay.
that people wrote, and I kind of just put my own spin to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it like so when somebody comes to your podcast and wants to listen to an episode on a particular artist, is it like little known facts? Is it stuff they already knew?
Little known facts, basically little known facts. A lot of people didn't know about some of the people that I talked about, because there was this one episode. He was like literally a one hit wonder. Like I
Okay.
remember his song, but I talked about him because he recently just passed away unexpectedly. So I just started talking about him, and like people didn't know who he was. He was like very underground R&B. Like
Okay.
he was like a two hit wonder from like the 90s, like the late 90s, I think 97 or something like that. So yeah.
So how
But
did people respond to that? Like was it like because you have a very unique podcast, right? You're doing a history of like R&B, black music, whatever you want to call it. But and then you're focusing on some obscure artists or people who've faded out of memory.
hmm
How do people respond to that? Do they have fans that listen to it, or like that are like, hey,
um there's a few people that like it or whatever. It's um pretty, I get a good response with it. Like
okay,
people later like shocked that they like it. They're intrigued.
okay.
So
So how do you feel about this journey since you started? Like, how does it make you feel? Is it
I
something that you're happy to have
yes,
done, or
I like it. I like it. I always been, I like creating new topics. It like, I like writing stuff out about what I want to talk about. It's like it's therapeutic for me. It's like therapy pretty much. And
okay,
I like this whole podcast journey.
that's good.
So
Okay,
yeah.
so I guess we learned about your podcast and what you're doing. Is there a way people can follow you? What like give out
Yes.
your information on how people can reach
Okay.
out to you.
Okay. So I use Instagram a lot more than I do Facebook. My tags on Instagram is in the mix. So it's like, yeah, in the mix.
I got
Is in the mix with Leah B on
you. Mhm.
Instagram and on Facebook. But I mostly use Instagram. So
Okay.
if y'all on Instagram, follow me. Keep up with the episodes. And I'm trying to be better on posting on that than on my personal. So yeah.
Right. What about where can your podcast be found?
Okay, I'm on Spotify, um, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. Um,
So most of the major players.
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay, so all that people have to do is it in the mix with Leah
Yes, it's in the
B or is
mix.
just in the mix?
It's in the mix. So after the is the underscore and then mix and then with Leah B. Uh, Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. And uh, is a couple more questions, and then we'll wrap up. So like, what are your goals? I mean, we're going about to go into 2022. What are some of your goals that you have, or the vision you have for your podcast over the next year, or in the new year, I should say?
So hopefully I want to drop some merchandise that people can buy and that I can sell and get the word out about the podcast and hopefully collaborate with others with my podcast and everything like that. So that's
Okay.
pretty much it.
All right. Those are simple goals. I think you
Yep.
can achieve them. Hopefully, there's plenty of people in the group that can as well collaborate with you and assist you with that. So, and
Mhm.
just the last question I have is, I mean, how long have you been a member of the Black Podcast Association, and just how do you feel about being a member of the group? How has it been for you being a member?
I think when did I become a member? I think I became a member about maybe in the summertime.
Okay.
And I really enjoy this group. I love y'all. Like y'all are like the greatest. Okay. Like I just not to sound corny, but yeah, y'all are like some cool peoples. Like totally. Like I feel like I can like talk about stuff without being judged. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I like that. And most groups that you join, they're kind of judgy and judgmental and like they're not, very welcoming. And
Gotcha.
this this group is very welcoming. So I thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. And
Mhm.
we just got to let everybody know this is our October leader, number one contributor for the month of October.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I got a feeling it might be happening again for November. So
Yeah,
for
yeah,
some people,
you
you do
know.
got a target on your back for some people in the group as we
Uh-oh.
speak.
Y'all better watch out.
So I like our good friendly competition, but we really do appreciate you. You asked some really
All
good
right.
questions, and thank you for being a part of it. And before we wrap up, I just want everybody to know we're going to be doing this twice a week on Tuesdays and Fridays. We welcome all members of the group to come and join us to participate. I'll be posting the link in the group, the Calendly link, where you can actually select the day and time that's best for you. And then we have a short form just to get some background information. But and just so that you guys know, it's open to all members of the group. We really want you guys to join. It might even open up to some guest hosting down in the future. We'll see how that goes, but make sure you guys check it out. Just a couple of things. The only thing we ask, if you're not already on it, make sure you subscribe to our newsletter at the blackpodcastersassociation.com. We're going to be sending out events, news, information, even updates about the spotlight and stuff like that as well. So make sure you get that so you can stay up to date on what we have coming out. And lastly, we have a couple of workshops and a networking meeting coming up this month, as well as next week we have the Lunch and Learn event. So make sure you come to join our official meetup page so you can stay up to date about the events and know what's going on. But Leah, I really thank you for joining us.
Thank
It was
you.
exciting. See, it wasn't that bad, was it? I
No, I
mean,
wasn't. I was
also
being
Leah's first.
dramatic and
It's a lot of
everything.
firsts. It's our first. It's Leah's first interview, so I'm happy to to be a part of this, and we look forward to hearing more from you in the group.
All
Definitely
right.
want to hear more about in the mix. And
All right.
any advice out there before we go for any of the podcasters in the group?
Well, my advice to you guys is just, enjoy what you do. Be yourself. Don't let anybody stop you. Don't let all the haters hate on you. Like do you. You know what I mean? Don't be, you know, you don't have to be like everybody else. You're unique in your own way. So, you know, just be yourself.
All right.
What? I don't know.
Thank you, Leah.
All right. Thank
It was
you.
wonderful. I enjoyed the conversation, and I'll definitely look forward to learning more about your podcast and seeing it grow. So, thank you everybody who came out and joined us. We're looking forward to our next guest next Tuesday. I'll be letting everybody know who that is. But thank you guys. Have a good weekend, and we'll definitely talk to you soon. All right.
All right.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Bye bye.